What is the worst thing that is legal? Coworkers that don't shower. Not the worst thing. But it used to be illegal for commercials on TV to be louder than the actual show, but not any longer suddenly. Are media driving a wedge between the populace to fuel division in order to satisfy ratings? Purely for the purpose of entertainment and profit. Not facts. Socks, fit size 6 to 12. Bullshit. Not giving your employees emergency sick leave, PTO, etc. Because you have less than 15 employees, so by law you don't have to. As an employee you also can't pursue legal action through the Disability Act, Coronavirus Relief Acts, or employment law, because the employer has less than 15 employees. My advice? Don't move to Florida. Data caps on home internet. Impossibly hard to cancel subscriptions. Megachicks that do nothing but exploit and scam people. We've investigated ourselves and decided we didn't do anything wrong. The troubled teen industry. Parents pay a company to kidnap kids while they're sleeping and send them off to therapeutic boarding schools where they are abused in every conceivable way. It's fucked. Not exactly legal. But I think the vast majority of the world's population at this point would agree that animal cruelty needs to have much harsher punishments. Most people get off with a slap on the wrist and a small fine. Lobbying. Puppy mills. Yes. Some states they're still legal. And where they're illegal, irresponsible backyard breeders are legal. Payday loans. No-knock warrants. We've seen time and time again where law enforcement has the wrong address and some innocent person ends up dead because of a logistical mistake. Child beauty pageants. Passing a shitload of bills wrapped up in one. Wages for full-time jobs that don't even cover basic living costs. Misleading potential employees in interviewing process. I've been duped once or twice. In the US, people going bankrupt and losing their homes over medical bills. The fact car radio commercials are allowed to have police sirens or car crashes in them as a way to get your attention. Being forced to fork up your personal data and access to everything in your phone to use a stupid app that makes a picture of your dog saying. It should not be allowed at all. Edit, this applies to many apps. I didn't have just one in mind. Caller ID spoofing. For-profit prisons. Sweatshop labor outsourced by tech and Fortune 500 companies. It's essentially contemporary slavery we collectively allow. Conversion therapy. Hey. Let's make children hate themselves so much that they'll either lie about who they are for the smallest crumbs of validation or just commit suicide. Either way, that's one less gay to worry about. Now excuse me as I go throw up. Groom your stepdaughter for over a decade. Then when she's 18, divorce her mom and hook up with your stepdaughter. Motherfucking phone calls from telemarketers and salesmen. I get they are just trying to do a living. But if I block your phone once, don't call me on a new number arg. Unpaid internships. Especially after graduating from college. They need money, not experience. Putting unrelated crap into bills to sneak it into law. I know they're supposed to follow some kind rules related to germaneness. But they clearly don't. And clearly need actual laws with actual punishments for pulling this crap. Ticket resale sites. They buy all the tickets using bots, then they can just resell them for more money. Isn't that legalized scalping? Little legal loopholes lawyers can use in courts. This is coming from an incoming law student who works at a law firm. Congress members being able to trade stocks at the same time they are receiving intelligence and passing laws that could affect the performance of said stocks. Being rude to someone who is just trying to do their job. I'm just gonna have to say little girls' beauty pageants. It just doesn't sit right with me. And not only because of the fact it's creepy. But I feel like it's stressful on the kid and on their body image. Multi-level marketing. The cost of healthcare in the US. My mom had a large grapefruit-sized bowel obstruction a few years ago and had to have emergency surgery to save her life. She followed that surgery with a 1-week stay in ICU and another 2 weeks in a regular room because the damage was so bad that they had to remove a lot of her colon/intestines and place a colostomy bag. Her bill was almost $1 million when all was said and done. And she didn't have insurance at the time. So that entire burden was on her and my dad. Our healthcare system is fucking atrocious. And frankly, embarrassing. Prosecutors withholding evidence that can exonerate the accused so they can win a conviction. Hearing a honking sound in a radio commercial. Spice/K2/synthetic weed. This may have changed in the last few years, but I found it embarrassing that our country locks up thousands for actual marijuana but allowed that shit to be sold at every gas station and liquor store, knowing damn good and well that it was hurting and killing people. Unskippable double ads. Exploitation of nature. To the level that hurts everyone. Being penalized for calling out sick from work. Edit. Even while the whole world is trying to survive this pandemic, we're still dealing with this major issue by employers. I work in healthcare, and I feel like I get shamed by my managers and co-workers when you call out. Especially when you work night shift. Civil asset forfeiture. It is un-American. Legalized theft. Marital rape and honor killings in countries like the one I live in, generally the Middle East. Most of that stuff is in the process of being banned now, thank God. Pyramid scheme/MLMs. Civil forfeiture. Wherein law enforcement can take your property because they think maybe it was or will be used in a crime and you have to prove it wasn't. Paying child support for a child that was conceived during an affair and isn't yours. No term limits for certain politicians. Permanently destroying huge areas of natural land. Nearby from where I live, there's a development corporation in my hometown that has bought up virtually all of the remaining woods, meadows and wetlands in the area, paved them, and built retail spaces that go vacant just a few months later. Businesses aren't even moving into these places, but the group just keeps spreading out and developing. It seems like every month I drive past another leveled tract of land. Frankly, it's terrible. In some states you can be handcuffed, in custody, and be legally recognized as being able to give consent to a cop who sexually assaults you. You can be literally restrained. A cop can take advantage of you and it not be considered de facto rape. Additionally, there are states where, if you give birth to a child caused by an assault, the perpetrator or his family has the legal right to fight for custody, visitation, etc. Edit. New York is one of many states that has one of those laws. Per comment below. I thought New York had both, but they changed the law in 2018, so only the second one applies to New York State. Not both. https://www.nydailynews.com/new-york/New York-passes-barring-cops-sex-detainees-article-1.3906874. Child marriage. Big businesses lobbying politicians in order to get bills passed in their favor. You can look up where anyone lives because it's public record. But can we please not have entire websites with databases full of every person in the country? I mean, think about people who get denied restraining orders and try to move away from their abuser. 6 months later and their abuser can just look up their name and find them all over again. This could be detrimental for spouse abuse victims, stalking victims, etc. Something should be done about them. It's terrifying. Selling textbooks at ridiculous prices. Dog ear cropping and cat declawing. Edit. I'm in the USA and a registered veterinary nurse. It's brutal. The size of the X button on pop-up ads. Scam calls and solicitation calls. I swear they used to be illegal at one point. In certain states, police can have sex with you while you're in custody. A parent keeping their kid from the other parent when there's no good reason to and leveraging the courts to do it. Child genital mutilation. It's an absolutely disgusting thing to do to children, and in most countries it's still legal or in some places and religions encouraged. Mobile games that heavily revolve around spending money to make progress. Payday loan practices. Technically not illegal, but hella predatory. US employers can do seriously horrible things and treat their employees like shit, all within the confines of the law. College book prices and practices. Change a few words in a math book. That'll be another $100 please. Oh, you realized that you can use the book from 10 years ago and succeed? Actually, we require you get the new book. Oh, you realized you can get the book cheaper from a friend? Actually, we're doing online books now and you need the personalized code. We change it every year even though there have been no breakthroughs in this subject. Knowing the college struggle, I have no fucking clue how this is allowed to exist. It should literally be illegal. Marriage. Specifically a 14 years old getting married to a 40 years old with the parents' consent. That's just wrong. Old legally blind folks driving cars. Advertisements for prescription medicine help patients lie to their doctors. As I sit here smoking cigarettes. Fuck cigarettes. And fuck big tobacco. Here in Canada, female genital mutilation is common in the Somali community. The police and the government are very aware of it, but because it's cultural, no one wants to stop it. It is still legal in Canada. Civil asset seizure by police, no crimes needed. You know how when you commit a crime and get caught, you get charged in the country where you committed the crime. So if you murder someone, you'll get charged in said country. And then there are the international waters. Every ship above 100 GT have to be registered. And if it's registered, the laws of the country where it's registered apply to the ship. But if you had a smaller boat, no laws apply. But if you killed someone on said ship, you'd be charged in the country where the person is a citizen. But there are ways someone can lose their citizenship in certain countries. And thereby, if I kill a citizenless person on a boat under 100 GT in international waters, even if there was evidence, no one can bring me to court. Thereby, it's legal. Thanks for watching.